Hello, blessings. Happy witching hour, you guys. So I trust that all of you had an amazing Ostara. I know that I did. It was really amazing. Had a lot of good things happen, which leads me to this discussion. Now it is almost 3 a.m. and I know a lot of you guys are asleep, but you will get this message in the morning. And so this is me expanding. And what I am expanding is my fertility services, okay? So I am a high priestess witch, and I've been in practice for almost a decade. And I'm also a woman. And I've been through some things as a woman in my life, and I know a lot about necromancy and I know a lot about witchcraft. And so I have a few of you that have been trying to get pregnant, and it's been difficult. It's difficult, it's rough. It can really, really, really take a toll on a person's mind, body, and soul when they want to complete their family or have offspring and then they can't. And then you come to social media and then the world just completely scares the heck out of you. And then you think, well, I don't want to bring kids into this crazy world anyway, which is understandable. But the world is not crazy, just some of the people in it. Okay, remember that, and you'll be okay. So I do offer fertility services for people, and I wanted to come and talk specifically about the fantasy, not the fantasy, the phantom pregnancy phenomenon. Okay. This can be brought up, or the foundation of a phantom pregnancy can start in a lot of different ways. It can start with your family, it could be bloodline. Okay. It could be from the evil eye. It could be somebody that may be jealous of you. It could happen because a witch put a kind of like a curse on you to stop you from getting pregnant, or it can arise from actually having someone do abortion spells and curses and stuff like that. Okay. For those of you that actually believe in it, I know that there are some people that are very skeptical, but you'd be surprised at what you would do if you are looking for something that a regular medical doctor can't provide you. And just for the YouTube algorithm, this is not in any way replacing medical advice or anything. I am practicing and giving this information based upon my spiritual beliefs and understanding. Okay. So, what is a phantom pregnancy? A phantom pregnancy is when you are basically pregnant, but you're pregnant with an entity that you may not want to be pregnant with. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of that spirit baby type of thing that, people kind of joke and laugh about, but it is actually a very real phenomenon. Now, many women go and they get pregnant on top of these phantom pregnancies, which it'll be okay, but it's not necessarily advised by a spiritualist for you to do that, or witches. It's not advisable for you to do that. It's advisable for you to have a clean and clear womb. But there's a lot of people that do get pregnant on top of that, and typically that's people that have like fertile myrtle syndrome, like in their bloodline, like, you know what I'm saying. But there are a lot of people that those phantom pregnancies actually prevent you from getting pregnant. And I'm not trying to bust out the witches or whatever, but it is what it is. It's my job. So pretty much, if someone didn't want you to get pregnant and they knew something about conjure, they can conjure a spirit. And what this spirit will do is it will connect and attach to your womb. And the first thing that it's going to do is it's going to cause infertility. Second thing that it's going to do is it's going to cause weight gain. To go a little bit further, something like this on your womb can actually create all kinds of problems. In fact, in the world that we live in with so many people, taking birth control pills like candy and, having a desire to control birth, which is understandable, it's actually not good to put yourself in an infertile state. But a lot of people are like, Jamila, I ain't trying to get pregnant a whole bunch of times, and I understand. And so I'm talking about this because I want people who are looking for quality fertility services, not just something just to kind of play around with you, but something that is actually going to help you, not just in the short term to get pregnant, but also in the long run. So, some of these phantom pregnancies can sometimes be the result of abortion, and then some phantom pregnancies can be the result of a miscarriage. Okay, so pretty much what happens is that the entity will stay in the womb. And some of you guys will even have these false pregnancies, okay, to where you just know you're pregnant, but you'll have all of the symptoms. Like you'll be nauseous. It can cause nausea, morning sickness, everything that you can imagine a pregnant woman to have. These things can make you have it. And it's very strange. Give me a second. Hold on a second. I'll be right back. Okay, I knew it was some people in here, but for some reason my little counter thing wasn't coming up. So I didn't want to feel like I was just talking to myself. So basically what this thing will do, and depending on how you got that phantom pregnancy, a spirit had told me that you can get it actually from using a public toilet. Depending on the, like, if you go into a public toilet and it's dirty, do not use that toilet. Like, a lot of y'all women go to clubs and stuff. I haven't been to a club in so long, it's ridiculous, since I was in my 20s. But you can actually pick up one of those spirits, possibly from a public toilet, but mainly depending on who's doing the necromancy work or maybe who's putting the curse on you. They may or they may not have a deep level of understanding for what they're doing, but pretty much what ends up happening is that this spirit gets put on you. Okay, it finds its way to you and it just kind of plugs it all up. It may even stop your period sometimes and change your diet. All sorts of weird things can happen. It'll throw your body off. Back in the day, there used to be, and for example, Ostara reminds me of that. Ostara, Beltane, and it's another one that is fertility. And so back in the day, the women in the family would do all kinds of fertility rites to protect their womb. But a lot of this stuff is not being done these days, and they need to be done, but they don't. So, um, I recently just started doing that, and my reasoning is because like I don't know where this spirit came from, but whatever it was trying to cause infertility. And my grandma was like, because my grandmother had 8 children. She had 8 total, 7 made it through. She did have 1 miscarriage. And it just, it just was like my grandma was like, what's going on here? This is weird. And so the I don't know what was happening with that, but basically, I've done this fertility working for a couple of people. And one person is working on getting pregnant, but the other person definitely did get pregnant. And I didn't really do like the big fertility, like stainless steel alchemy type of working. But all I did was I did a womb clearing and protection. Boom. Periods went normal and everything. So and there are certain symptoms of a phantom pregnancy, but like I said, you will feel pregnant. You won't be able to get pregnant. You may have acne. You may be very irritable. It might make you like all sorts of things. If you look up the symptoms of pregnancy and phantom pregnancies, can definitely exacerbate those symptoms a lot to the point where they can cause a lot of bloating. Okay. And so the way that you have to get rid of that phantom pregnancy is through necromancy. Like you have to have someone that is very well established with necromancy, someone that does have that connection to spirit, and then you'll turn up pregnant right away. Or some people are just having a lot of female problems, you know what I'm saying, or financial problems. Okay. Yeah. And possibly like a lot of anxiety can be caused by that, because you got to understand that this thing literally has got into your uterus, and it forms a cord. It's an etheric cord, but everything that happens in the etheric spirit realm affects the physical. Okay. And so a lot of the times what it will do is it will definitely, depending on the type of spirit that you got, maybe your ancestors, maybe your spiritual knowledge or your spiritual connection, and what's going on with your crown chakra. Because a lot of the times, if the crown chakra is blocked, and crown chakras end up blocked all the time, depending on who you are, depending on what's happening to you, you won't have any idea, but then just all of a sudden you'll start to feel really tired. It'll cause dizziness. It'll like it really, really makes you feel like crud. Okay. So everybody ain't trying to get pregnant, but I do know that there's quite a few of my clients that either they may be trying to get pregnant, or either they might just feel some type of way. A lot of us, especially women, but men too, are very in tune with their body, and you just will feel like something's wrong. Like, I don't feel like I'm orgasming the way that I used to. Like, I don't, like, you just feel kind of off. And so it's not just for pregnancy. I know that for me, I'm not trying to get pregnant right now. So just FYI, this is for purposes of promoting my fertility services. Um, but I know that a lot of you guys do want to get pregnant, and I do want to help you. So the pretty much what will happen is that thing, and sometimes it can be a really, really, really evil spirit. And if you're not a person that does a lot of spiritual cleansings or like stuff like that, like, what it will do is it will feed off of negativity and get stronger based upon that negativity. Now, I do know that there are some women that will put that stuff on other women out of jealousy and hatred. It is the worst thing that can happen. It's terrible. It's horrible, but there is hope. You just got to, have somebody that you can trust that knows what they are doing. So a lot of my workings, especially when it comes to necromancy, I learned directly from Santa Muerta, and then also Lilith and Hecate. Okay. Lilith is known as being some kind of baby stiller, baby snatcher, but Lilith is actually a fertility goddess, just like Ostara, just like Santa Muerta, just like, quite a few of the fertility goddesses, you know what I mean? Like Mother Earth, Gaia, and so, but where I learned a lot of my teachings and got a lot of help, like I will always love Santa Martha without, like, it's so sad. Like, I get so much from her all the time. And she's like, well, with a lot of the racism, and then everybody like quickly relating me to Mexico, which I believe that there is a story connected. Well, but it's kind of like, you know, but she gives me a lot of information about necromancy and protects me a lot. Really is a great and powerful assistance assisting me, with a lot of the necromancy work that I do. And here's another thing: pregnancy and fertility actually falls under the category of necromancy, because there's death and then there's life, and y'all know how that is. So a phantom pregnancy, you can go through that at any age. Okay, I've seen teenagers go through it. I've seen women in their 20s, I've seen women in their 30s, 40s, 50s. It doesn't matter what your goal is. Most of you that hear this, your goal is going to be to get pregnant immediately. But a lot of you guys are just like, well, I just want to feel at one with my body again, because what it will do is it will kind of take over your body. And so a lot of women, well, first of all, we've acknowledged how a lot of women, a lot of people or under possession and not by good spirits. Okay, so you may be a woman that could be preoccupied with other stuff, and you may not know what's going on with you, but I'm telling you, a big sign of it, a big huge sign of it, if you a woman, is hating other women. Now I know how treacherous other women can be, but that doesn't mean that you hate your own gender. It's weird. But it does cause a lot of women to become very hormonal, very just illogical, and it's more common than what people think it is. And so this is like a spirit that sometimes it can be several spirits that will just be kind of hanging out in your womb space, very much so attached, very much so feeding off of you. But it's so weird because the women that are being fed up on, they typically have very, very, very heavy periods. I'm talking about very, very heavy, to the point where you are like drenching pads, like those big thick ones, like you can just lay there and just it'll just be like so much blood, and you'll be like, oh my god. And so, and then of course there's issues with anemia and things of that nature. And so that, that's not good. That but it is good to have a healthy period, you know what I'm saying, to where it's, you don't want a scanty period, but you don't want a period that makes you feel like you're bleeding to death. So if you feel like, oh my god, am I bleeding to death or something, because I've always had healthy periods, heavy flow, medium to heavy flow my whole life, but like I couldn't, like, I couldn't imagine, bleeding very heavily, saturating pads, like going through like 2 or 3 boxes of them. Some women will do that. And it's like, where is all this blood coming from? It's so weird. And so that could be the result of that. You just have to, You just have to come to somebody that is able to diagnose that. I know that the tarot, I was doing a fertility reading on someone, and the tarot definitely tells you when there's a phantom pregnancy, because the world card will be in the inverted position. And when you look at the world card, it actually is a person inside of a circle. Typically, if you have the traditional Rider Waite, it's usually a person inside of a circle. The Empress card will come up in the inverted position. Um, Strength will be inverted. Typically, a lot of major arcanas, but if you notice that in the world card, it's not an attached cord, but it's like a circle, and it's like a person inside of it. And so if it's in the inverted position, sometimes that can be the diagnosis. But then, it just depends on what is the surrounding cards. And then also, I do read without the cards. I can, my sense of smell is very keen. But I like the cards. I don't like it when people try to act like, oh, I don't need the cards to read. It ain't about needing the cards to read, but it's about the fact that I enjoy the tarot. I really do. I love it. It is a science that I will always use. Okay. And so you can find out if you have one of those, and it doesn't matter what age you are. You don't want to keep the phantom pregnancy. You don't want to keep that pregnancy because it's an evil spirit. So, I don't know. I don't know any woman that's casting infertility spells on herself unless she's taking birth control, which can possibly be the same thing. But, I mean, as far as like a spiritual curse, like you just don't, like, I wouldn't do that. I've seen some women do it and they're not doing well, you know, just to, just FYI. So, you do have to get rid of that thing. And the crazy part about it is that a lot of women think that they're just going to get rid of it during their period. And that's not what happens. It actually could come out when you are having a cycle, but typically it'll get pushed out of the womb once you start doing the work. Um, it'll get pushed out of the womb. It can get pushed out at any time. Okay. Now, I was telling y'all about the asafoetida. That is like my best friend at this point, asafoetida. And I've been meaning to make a video about that for y'all. It's a wonderful, they call it devil's dung. It's amazing. And it doesn't stink as bad as people said it does. It just tastes like, not taste, even though you can use it in your food. It smells like very strong, like bitter onions and garlic. It doesn't smell nearly as bad as valerian root. So I don't know why people say that it smells so bad. I don't get it, but maybe it's the brand that I got. I don't know. But you have to really, really be focused on that. And no, I do not have to be right in front of you to do the work. But I more than likely will send you an herb packet for you to burn or whatever. I used to send out these fertility kits, and I'm gonna start that up again. Um, these fertility bathing kits. And I just need to get that put back up on the website, because my original website 10 years ago had all of that, the fertility bath kits and stuff like that. So, but I think that asafoetida is going to be one of the ingredients that is going to be phenomenal in chasing that thing away, because it really doesn't like asafoetida. Doesn't like garlic either. Okay. But garlic can, and when you mix asafoetida with things like mugwort and nettle leaf, and that thing will be like, oh, I'm ready to go, because I can't this is not a condition that I want to be in. And then of course you'll want to have your fertility protection. I would not advise any woman to walk around this earth without some kind of womb protection. I just wouldn't do it. In fact, I think that they might call them um imps. That possibly could be, but I just call it an evil spirit. Okay. It could just be hanging out in there. And I think that they do cause a lot of problems. Oh my God. Relationship problems, financial problems. It'll affect so many different areas of your body because that thing is just literally in there, just feeding off of you. It'll feed off of you from the inside out. Okay. It will feed from the inside out. So whether or not you are trying to get pregnant or not, I wouldn't want that thing in there. I'm just saying. And I believe that it'll cause those Bartholomew cysts too. A lot of women in social media are really talking a lot about castor oil, but then olive oil, anointing the cervix with castor or olive oil. I think that when you do things like that, you really, really upset it. And I wouldn't want somebody going through my fertility treatments and going through too much discomfort. But, it will give you some discomfort as it is making its exit. Okay. Hey, sissy. Hey, sweetie. It will give you some kind of discomfort as it's making its exit. Okay. So, that's why I'm always there for you guys. I don't, I kind of, because I can't be there in person. Okay. I can only be there by phone or by Zoom. Okay. So, but the last time I had banished one off of somebody, it did kind of cause a little bit of friction as it was leaving. It didn't want to leave in peace. It didn't. It was really causing a lot of drama. It was causing a lot of drama as it was making its exit. This was a few months ago, or 3 months ago, rather. So, and um, so where do they go? Where do they go? Where do these spirits go after they're banished from the body? Well, that's something that Santa Martha really helps us out a lot with. Okay. She helps us out a lot with that. And so that's why I stick close by her as well as Hecate and Lilith. So pretty much what they do, most of the time the spirit gets trapped. Now, I will tell you that those of you that had that happen as the result of a miscarriage or an abortion, sometimes if you miscarry or you abort, sometimes the spirit of the baby doesn't leave because it's attached to its mommy. And some of y'all would be like, no, I don't want to necessarily, get rid of. It's basically like aborting a spiritual pregnancy. No, I know, Jamila, I don't want to get rid of that baby. And so what you can do is create a space for the baby. Um, you can create a space for the baby, which will be a witch bottle, a place for the baby to rest, a place for the baby to be, if that's what it is. Because, some women, and I'm the same way, it doesn't matter like what was going on, or how it happened. You just still feel this very close bond with, all of your unborn children. So, it can happen as a result of abortion as well. And so, the whole point is to kind of, let the baby know, hey, you can't really hang out right there. You know what I mean? Like, but most of the time it's an unfamiliar entity. Most of the time, I would say like probably maybe 95% of the time, it's the result of some kind of curse. That it could be quote unquote a fertility curse or blockage or whatever, but it can definitely be like just, it can be random. And it can really, really cause a lot of if you're somebody, because most of the people that I talk to, you guys already sage, you do all kind of stuff, but you find yourself having to sage a lot, or you find yourself having to balance yourself a lot, and it just kind of sits there and lingers and festers, and it kind of disrupts the natural flow of life. It's just like up and down. Your mood might be really, really up and down, like all the time. Like one minute you feel good, and the next minute you feeling like, you know what I'm saying? So it really does cause a lot of unwanted symptoms within women. And these women will make everybody miserable all around them. Okay. And so, so yeah. And I mean, I did upload a video to TikTok. Hopefully it doesn't get dinged or anything. But I wanted to come over here and talk about that, so that a lot of you can really get the help that you need, especially if there's other problems that you're having. Okay, especially if there's other issues that you may be experiencing. Every once in a while you may need to balance, or you shouldn't have to find yourself getting up every single day feeling like you need to balance yourself. That's not normal. No matter what you've got going on, I don't care what you have going on, you shouldn't be feeling that way. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to talk to y'all about. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, so I'm not going to be here long because I'm tired and sleepy. That's another thing it'll do. It'll cause insomnia really, really bad. Really, really bad. It'll be almost like you're up nursing that entity or that spirit all the time, right? And I don't really consider insomnia to be insomnia until you can't sleep for a couple of days and you like been up for days and days, and it will throw off your biological clock. Like it'll throw off your, what do they call that? Is it nocturnal clock or something, or nocturnal clock? You find yourself having to like pop melatonins and stuff all the time, which your body is designed, I don't care what nobody say, it's designed to lay down and go to sleep at some point for at least a few hours, however many hours you need to feel well rested. We're meant to sleep some hours of the day. Okay. So a lot of people be like, well, I'm turning into a vampire. And it's like, well, vampires sleep. Like, you know, they don't just be up. You know what I'm saying? I know I stay up until like probably I was on my regular sleep schedule, but then for other reasons I had to get back on my nocturnal clock. But I know that I can stay up very easily till about 3, 4, or 5 o'clock in the morning, which I'm not gonna do that tonight. I'm feeling very relaxed and well rested. Um, and then of course a lot of you women, you know that the womb, it is a open vessel. It really is. Like, and it is so very, very important for you to protect that. Oh my God. It is so important for you to protect your womb. Um, it's priceless. It's worth a lot. And the energy, it's worth a lot to you, right? And we're not talking about what some folk be talking about, which is stuff that I'm not even gonna bring up, because a lot of us are like, "Ooh, that's an undesirable topic," so we're not gonna bring that up. But it's your currency. It's your personal power, just like a man's penis is his personal power. Okay, same thing with women. But with women, it's different because we do carry the babies for 9 months. And that thing will definitely, some of y'all will feel phantom kicks in your stomach, and you'll be like, maybe I should go to the hospital and get an ultrasound to see if there's a baby in there. There's this one phenomenon. It's it's those women that are pregnant and they don't know they're pregnant. That would freak me out. I would think I was in the twilight zone if something like that happened to me. But more than likely, if you're having a period every month, there's no physical baby in there because but some women do have their period while they're pregnant, but most of the time women will miss their period because it's nature's way of letting you know that you're pregnant, right? So anyway, y'all can get with me about that. It is up on the website. It is called the Fertility Baby Wish Fertility um Alchemy Witch Bottle working, and it's a ritual. However, the reason why it's more expensive than my granting wishes and making dreams come true bottle, the reason why it's more expensive, sorry, I gotta put my cat out because she'll start to be all in my face sneezing and stuff. Um, the reason why it's more expensive is because the necromancy work that I have to do. Okay. And so that requires a little bit of work. Okay, it requires offerings. It requires for me to spend some time with Santa Martha, and spirit. And, it requires all kinds of stuff. Basically, a cleanse of the womb, basically, to put it in layman's terms. And then also to trap and store the spirit, because technically we're not supposed to be storing spirits for more than up to a year. Because I got a lot of spirit traps I need to take and bury. Like, it's ridiculous, y'all. And I'm gonna be doing that very, very soon. Because I'm like, I need to. So anyway, but it's fine as long as they're sealed and I'm good. But so it requires extra work, and it's a bottle that you're gonna keep. It comes in one of my stainless steel containers. And eventually, once I've done all the work for you, I do send you that stainless steel container for you to keep. And they'll keep for quite some time, especially when you don't take the lid off of them, because it's filled with alcohol, which preserves everything inside of it. And obviously, if you've already gotten your purpose out of it, it's something that you don't necessarily have to keep forever. I would. If I had something from High Priestess Jamila, I would keep it forever. That's just me. Okay. If I were outside of myself. But yeah, so anyway, that's pretty much what I wanted to say. You guys can visit my website, divineservicesapothecary.com, and I'll get you in for your confidential consultation for that. Okay. If you feel like you're having a phantom pregnancy and you don't want to get pregnant, don't shy away from still doing a womb cleanse. Okay. So if you don't want to get pregnant, I do have the womb cleanse available as well if you don't want to get pregnant. Uh, and so I just haven't put it up on the website yet. And so that'll be available on the website also very soon. I'll be so busy, y'all. And I've been busy with a lot of my existing clients here lately. So. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good one. Blessings and have a happy Thursday. All right. Bye-bye.